Jerry.
Laging magsabi ng totoo alang-alang sa bayan. We must always entrust our loyalty to the Filipinos, to our flag, and to our country. Yan naman po parating sinasabi ni dating Pangulong Duterte sa inyo. Just be loyal to our country and to our flag. Last, gusto nating malaman kung may nalabag ba na proseso ang pamahalaan, nabigyan ba po ng due process ang Pangulo, dahil kung seryoso tayo sa pagbibigay ng hustisya, unang konsiderasyon dapat ang karapatang pantao at ang pagsunod sa due process. Sa totoo lamang po, hindi na po tatakbo si Tatay Digong sa inyo. Di na niya kayang tumakas. At alam niyo po yun. Di na niya kaya kayong takbuhan. Dahil hirap na nga siyang maglakad, nagsusungkod na nga lang po siya. Imbis na umunlad, bigla tayong umurong. OFWs, pinapauwi natin. Noon, ginagawa natin ang paraan. In fact, si dating Pangulong Duterte sumusulat yan sa mga king o sa leader ng ibang bansa para makauwi. And even nagre-raise tayo ng blood money para makauwi lang yung mga kababayan natin. Pero bakit baliktad niya yan? Bakit isinuko po ang sarili nating lahi? Hindi ko lubusang matanggap na siya ay nililiti sa ibang bansa gayong siya ay isang Pilipino. Samantalang mayroon naman tayong maayos na judicial system sa ating bansa na nirerespeto. Kasarinlan yan bilang isang bansa. May sarili tayong batas, may sarili tayong proseso, may sarili tayong korte at may kakayahan tayong panagutin ang sinumang nagkakasala sa ating bayan. Madam Chair, this is now a matter of principle, justice, and humanity. Hindi ba't may sarili tayong sistema ng hustisya? Kapag may Pilipinong nagkasala, dapat tayo po ang husga. We must protect our citizens and we must stand as one. Dagdag pa dito, Madam Chair, mula noon hanggang ngayon, naninindigan naman po si Solicitor General Minardo Guevara na walang jurisdiction ng ICC sa ating bansa. Kung consistent po ang gobyerno sa posisyon na ito na hindi kilalanin ang jurisdiction ng International Criminal Court, bakit hinayaan po nitong ma-implement ng warrant of arrest ang Interpol mula sa isang korte na hindi naman natin kinikilala? Kung wala naman talagang jurisdiction at may warrant of arrest ang Interpol o ICC, sana binigyan muna ng pagkakataon ng gobyerno through the proper authority like judicial court na i-verify o suriin ang validity ng arrest sa warrant. Ang issue na ito ay hindi lamang para kay Pangulong Duterte. Ito ay mahalagang usapin sa soberanya ng Pilipinas ang nakataya dito. Alang-alang sa ating mga bayaning nagbuwis ng buhay upang makamit lang ang ating kalayaan. Alang-alang sa ating ngayon na patuloy na inaalagaan ng ating soberanya upang ang ating mga anak at ang ating mga anak ay mamumuhay ng isang bansa na malaya at irespeto ng ibang bansa. Ang bawat Pilipino, mataas o mababa man ang katayuan sa buhay, dapat may gobyernong masasandalan na hindi siya pababayaan. Former president man o hindi, karapatan yan, lalo na po pagdating sa kanyang kalusugan, kaligtasan at buhay. Sa huli, bagamat andon si Tatay Digong na buong tapang na hinaharap ang kasong isinampa sa kanya, tulad ng kanyang paulit-ulit na ipinangako, napakasakit po sa dibdib na pagkatapos niya isakripisyo ang kanyang sarili para sa kinabukasan ng ating mga anak at ng bawat Pilipino, ni isang Pilipino ay hindi huhusga sa kanya. Imbis na ibigay sa Pilipino ang paghusga sa mga ginawa ni dating Pangulong Duterte na paglaban sa droga at kriminalidad, sadly, hindi po ganun ang nangyari. Sabi ko nga, para sa akin, Pilipino po ang dapat humusga sa totoong sitwasyon sa bansa. Kung mas nakakalakad na po ba ang ating mga anak noong panahon niya, hindi po nasasaktan, hindi nababastos. Kayo po ang humusga. Pilipino po ang dapat humusga. Minahal tayo ni Tatay Digong. Ginawa niya po ang lahat para sa bayan. Tanda na po siya. Ayaw na nga niyang tumakbong presidente. Pero ginawa niya po ito dahil yan po ang kanyang sinumpaang tungkulin para sa mga kababayan natin Pilipino. Pero ngayon, hindi lang si Tatay Digong ang inialay at ipinamigay ng ating sariling kababayan. Mistur lang, inialay at ipinamigay din ito ang karapatan ng Pilipino na husgahan ng ating sariling kababayan at magdesisyon kung ano ang mas makakabuti sa ating bayan. As I said, March 11 was indeed the saddest day in our history. Sana po, hindi na po ito maulit. Marami pong nasaktan na Pilipino. Salamat po.
Maraming salamat sa aking kasama, Senator Bongo. We assure you that this is no time for heroics. We are determined to get the truth. We now call on Senator Jinggoy Estrada, who has manifested his desire to make a preliminary statement.
Madam Chair, I wish to waive my opening statement in order to expedite the hearing.
Thank
But
you
if
very
you will
much.
allow me to fire the first salvo, it will be very much appreciated, Madam Chair.
Kung maaari, siguro umpisahan na lang natin kasi medyo komplikado yung ating proseso. Umpisahan muna natin yung order, ano? Tapos kung pwede, sumabat na lang kayo, kikilalanin kita kaagad-agad.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Maraming salamat. Okay, at this juncture, I call on the committee secretary to administer the oath to our resource persons.
Kindly stand and raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this proceeding. Thank you. You may now sit.
Yes, marami pong salamat. Napakaraming cabinet member po rito, mga secretary, mga napakatataas na mga opisyal ng ating pamahalaan. Can we say that as secretaries and high government officials, you are the alter egos of the President, particularly those in the cabinet? Tama po ba yun?
That is correct.
Thank you. And as you are all in the executive branch, can we say you are bound by the words and statements of the President?
Yes, Madam President, as we are bound to by executive privilege for the President.
Thank you. May I recall a clip derived from 18 February 2023. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. said the following, and the clip is here.
Oo, hindi, at bakit. Papayagan ko sila dito, pero magturista lang sila.
I'm sorry, this seems to be an earlier statement, 2022.
Pagkaunawa ko sa ICC, the ICC is there pagka walang judiciary na nag-ooperate sa isang bansa. Dahil nagkagera, dahil nasira lahat, the economy has collapsed, etc., for whatever reason. Diyan papasok ang ICC. We have a functioning judiciary. And that's why I do not see the need for a foreigner to come and do the job for us, to do the job for our judicial system. Our judicial system is perfectly capable of doing that. And it also raises a great many questions about jurisdiction and sovereignty. What is their jurisdiction to come here into the Philippines and conduct an investigation? Is that not a violation of our rights as a sovereign nation in the community of nations? Those questions need to be answered before they can be allowed any investigation.
Senator Bongbong, maraming salamat.
Oh my, that went very quickly. Maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat. Thank you for your time. God bless you.
No. You have misread it. We do not cooperate with the ICC. That is the position of this government.
Pero pag ni-red notice po ng Interpol, we will be obliged to participate.
As Secretary Remulla explained before, we have obligations to Interpol, and we have to live up to those obligations.
And therefore, the next step,
Interpol.
Okay, let me say this for the 100th time. I do not recognize the jurisdiction of ICC in the Philippines. I consider it as a threat to our sovereignty. Therefore, the Philippine government will not lift a finger to help any investigation that the ICC conducts. However, as ordinary people, they can come and visit the Philippines. Pero hindi kami tutulong sa kanila. In fact, binabantayan namin sila, making sure that hindi sila that they do not come into contact with any agency of government. And if they are contacting agencies of government, na sasabihin yung whatever, policeman, local government, sabihin nyo, wag nyo sasagutin. Yun ang sagot natin. That we do not recognize your jurisdiction, therefore we will not assist in any way, shape, or form any of the investigations that the ICC is doing here in the Philippines.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
That's it? All right.
Okay. On the 18th of February, the President said, my position has not changed. I have stated it often, even before I took office as President, that there are many questions about ICC's jurisdiction and that we here in the Philippines regard as an intrusion into our internal matters and a threat to our sovereignty. Does the DFA agree with this statement? And do we abide by this position until today? Anyone from the DFA, please?
Madam Chair, good morning.
Yes, you recognize USEC.
Yes, thank you. Well, as I speak right now, the Philippines is not a member of the ICC, and the DFA defers to the Department of Justice as the implementing agency when it comes to cooperation on ICC matters. Madam Chair.
Yes, so to the best of your knowledge and in the consideration of the DFA, we are not a member of the ICC.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And the DOJ, having been referred to, may I call on Secretary Remulla, please, to clarify this issue.
We are not members of the ICC, ma'am. So, whatever relationship we have with the ICC is on an arm's length basis if we have to talk to them. But we have never spoken to them.
I'm
We have
sorry,
never spoken
Secretary,
to
I
them.
didn't hear you. Whatever relationship we have,
It's on an arm's length basis, meaning very transparent if ever. But we have never spoken to them.
arm's length.
Yes, ma'am.
So you have had contact even at
No, ma'am.
arm's length?
We do not have any contact. What we're saying is we are very transparent about what we do, and we have never had any contact with the ICC.
So you uphold the statement of the President saying that the ICC has no jurisdiction here in the Philippines. Is that correct?
Ma'am, jurisdiction of the ICC is throughout the world. We belong to a community of nations
Regardless
that
of
is
those
tied
who are
together
state-
by a legal system called international humanitarian law. It is something adopted by more than 150 countries in the world. International humanitarian law, which became a law in 2009 or 2010. And that law, that domestic law, is what we adhere to in this case.
Are you referring to RA 9851?
Yes, ma'am.
Because you indicated the date was 2009. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So therefore, we are not members of the ICC.
We are not members of the ICC since President Duterte withdrew our membership in 2018, effective 2019.
Okay. That being the position of the DILG, I assume that Secretary Remulla in the DILG also maintains the same.
Yes, ma'am. I defer to the wisdom of the Department of Justice.
And the PNP, General Marbil, please.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Thank you. If that is therefore an unqualified yes, and you are in agreement with the President that the ICC has no jurisdiction whatsoever, what was the DOJ referring to as the ICC's jurisdiction in the Philippines being different from us being a member. What is the distinction, please?
Ma'am, the ICC tries people for individual crimes, not states. So the Philippines, as a state, cannot be called upon by the ICC to do something for them. But when the ICC is running after individuals who are Filipino citizens, then that obligation becomes another kind of obligation.
So that therefore the Senate ratification of the ICC at the time that it was ratified is of no weight. Regardless, you will fall under the jurisdiction of the ICC, under
Well, for
the so-called
individuals-
international.
Yes, madam.
humanitarian- that is your belief, DOJ.
Yes, madam. When there are
Regardless of
individuals
the party
being
or not
when there
the party.
there are individuals being asked by the ICC to explain, it is another matter. As a state is different from an individual. We all know that we have to.
I think that is
the
not the
individuals
question.
being charged by the ICC will have to face the ICC.
I'm perplexed. The DFA made it very clear that as we withdrew, we are no longer a state party to the treaty. And now you're saying that we can nevertheless fall under the ICC, under the generic rubric of international humanitarian law. So it doesn't matter whether you sign or do not sign, whether
Yes, ma'am.
you ratify
It
or
doesn't
do
matter,
not
ma'am.
ratify.
It
It
doesn't
makes no
matter.
difference.
Doesn't make any difference anymore.
Are you certain?
I'm certain.
Okay, Attorney Saret, please, from DFA. Is that the position of the DFA?
Madam Chair, I concur with my USEC, the current acting SFA, that as far as we are concerned, we're no longer members of the ICC.
And as non-members, can we possibly fall under the jurisdiction of the ICC under the rubric of international humanitarian law? Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, I think, because we, under the,
What's the use of signing or ratifying a treaty if it bears no weight?
I defer, ma'am, to Secretary Remulla.
May
On
I?
this one, ma'am.
I think it's your purview, your DFA.
Yes, ma'am. But yes, ma'am, technically we are no longer a member of the ICC, but we might be obligated under residual jurisdiction as what the Supreme Court in one case already mentioned, that we still have residual jurisdiction. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yes,
Madam Chair, if I may.
I'm a little bit perplexed given that you are part of the executive. The president has said, as he said for the 100th time, that we are not under the ICC. Why is the SOJ now saying that we are nevertheless, somehow, in some miraculous way, under the rubric of the international humanitarian law, still under its jurisdiction?
Your Honor, it is not the Philippines that is under the jurisdiction. It is the individuals who are charged by the ICC, which is under the jurisdiction. There is a distinction, ma'am.
Please explain.
As non-members of the ICC, and as a state, the ICC has no jurisdiction over us as a country. But over the individuals who may have committed crimes that violate international humanitarian law, that is a universal value being held by the whole world today. That people cannot cross borders and hide behind boundaries so that they can run away from the law. International humanitarian law is something adopted. The principles are adopted by more than 150 countries throughout the world, Your Honor.
Are you of the position, therefore, that international humanitarian law, as you said, is customary law? Is that the consideration?
It is already customary law now. As we speak, it has become customary law throughout the world.
Are you aware that procedural and admin matters do not form part of customary law? Surely the Secretary is well aware that procedural and administrative matters will still have to comply with the laws of the land.
Of course, Madam, this goes without saying.
Okay, thank you. Senator Jinggoy, I think you wanted to interject at this juncture. We recognize the Senator.
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you very much. The DFA, the DOJ, the DILG, and the PNP has already admitted that we are not members of the Philippines is not a member of the ICC. Therefore, why did we surrender a Filipino citizen before the ICC? Anyone can answer, Madam Chair.
We surrendered an individual to the ICC who was a subject of a warrant of arrest. That's what we did.
I did not hear you again.
Mr. Senator, we surrendered an individual to the ICC. We did not surrender as a country, but he was surrendered due to a warrant of arrest issued by the ICC through the Interpol.
Senator Jinggoy, any follow-up questions, please? Thank you. If that's the case, while we've attempted to retrieve Senator Jinggoy, let me just pursue the question of the international humanitarian law being customary law. Since procedural and administrative matters do not fall under customary law, ICC processes, therefore, are not part and parcel.
Madam Chair, the distinction of the ICC process of issuing a warrant of arrest is something accepted through a treaty, the International Police Organization.
You have just contradicted yourself, sir. You said it was customary, and now you're saying it's by treaty.
We can be very technical about it, ma'am.
Sorry.
But we can be very technical about it if you wish to be. But the fact is, it is our accession to the Interpol which made all of this possible.
We will go to the Interpol later. Let us discuss the ICC at this juncture. So, while I will go with you for the sake of argument that the IHL, or International Humanitarian Law, has now become accepted as part of international customary law, I am unable to accept that ICC processes and administrative procedures as well are now part of customary law. I don't think so.
The processes are not part of customary law. We have our own administrative processes. If you ask me about this, Madam, we can say that the IHL is the domestic law that we followed in recognizing the warrant of arrest issued against Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
Which domestic law and process did
Republic Act 9851, Your Honor.
as mentioned previously?
Yes, as mentioned previously, and within the provisions allows us two options, either extradition or surrender. We chose the executive mode, which is surrender.
We will go to that later, but at this juncture, therefore I get an acceptance from the Secretary that in fact the processes that should have prevailed should have been those stipulated under RA 9851 or our own local law.
We follow the process, ma'am.
Thank you. So that's correct. On the same day, if I may proceed, the President also said, I do not see what its jurisdiction is, referring once again to the ICC. Can we bring back the video? I think there is a statement there. I feel that we have in our police and judiciary a good system. We do not need assistance from any outside entity. Again, as part of the executive department, you have subscribed to this view, I assume.
Yes, madam.
So to clarify, the statement means that the President was not recognizing the jurisdiction of the ICC over the crimes allegedly committed by the former President. Is that correct?
We do not recognize the jurisdiction of the ICC over our country. What we recognize is the jurisdiction of the ICC over individuals who may have violated international humanitarian law by committing murder and other heinous crimes.
If I may, I think the President was referring to the jurisdiction of the ICC over crimes, specifically crimes committed by PRRD. Isn't that so?
Can you rephrase your question, ma'am?
Well, you said that while the ICC has no jurisdiction over the Philippines as a state, it maintains jurisdiction over individuals and crimes under
Yes, ma'am.
the international humanitarian order.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. What the president said is that there is no jurisdiction over the crimes committed by the former president.
Well,
Because we have a functioning police and judiciary system. Unless you submit that we don't.
submit that we don't